Hi everyone. So I'm doing my final SIA project on the Columbus Crew Stadium. That's going to be happening. It's going to be finished by the summer of 2021. So a major part of an effort to keep the Columbus Crew SC soccer team in Columbus, Ohio, was that new owners and funders proposed a new soccer stadium to be built in the far west end of the Arena District neighborhood at a 33-acre site. The purpose for this new stadium is to boost attendance for soccer fans by building a stadium in the heart of the city with bars and restaurants in the stadium as well as within walking distance. So, the new 20,000 seat stadium is meant to be a destination for the Columbus community on a daily basis rather than just on game days. So, there will also be a 40,000 foot plaza space outside of the stadium meant for hosting large events other than sports matches, such as concerts, citywide gatherings like farmers markets, and food truck events. The city also has plans to expand the Arena District neighborhood in hopes of investors and planners for the stadium is that the new project will expedite this process by connecting neighborhoods to the downtown area, like Franklinton and the Arena District. So the whole project is estimated to cost about $300 million, and it will be funded by the Cleveland Browns owners Dee and Jimmy Haslam, who now own Columbus Crew, and Pete Edwards. So my comparative economy or comparative community was Atlanta, Georgia, where they have the Mercedes-Benz Stadium that they built in 2016. It I compared Columbus to Georgia because they had similar population sizes in terms of population density, and they also had similar income, medium income, and median gross rent. So the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, I think could give really a lot of insights and opportunities for the planners developing the Crew Stadium in downtown Columbus. The new Atlanta Stadium is very environmentally friendly with a rainwater collection system that holds up to 680,000 gallons of rainwater used to water vegetation around the structure. And this advanced water system uses 47% less water than it would if it was a typical water system seen in traditional stadiums. Um, so, through this water storage system, runoff is stored and flooding is reduced for the neighborhoods nearby. And a water system storage system like this would really be environmentally friendly to implement for the Crew Stadium, as well as because it would help the low-lying adjacent neighborhoods prone to flooding, prevent flooding after the completion of the stadium. The Atlanta Stadium, also has 4,000 solar panels and 82,500 square feet of LED lighting. So not only are they incredibly environmentally conscious, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium owners have also placed strong focus on community outreach and elevation. So in a partnership with Westside Works, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium developed a training program that provides tailored training to Westside residents. And this program allows the residents to be prepared and ready to be hired on the stadium operations staff. So, with the increase in businesses expected to come with the connection of downtown neighborhoods to the Columbus Crew Stadium, gentrification should be a concentration. With a program like the Westside Works training program, the Columbus Crew could provide education and careers for residents living in nearby neighborhoods that could possibly experience rent hikes or higher property taxes with the increase in activity and an economic boom expected to come to the area. So another way Mercedes-Benz Stadium combats gentrification and creates strong community support is by recycling aluminum bottles and cans that fund Habitat for Humanity homes in the West Side neighborhood of Atlanta. This helps the community as well as encourages fans attending sporting events to recycle for the better good of the community as well as the environment. So the area where the new stadium will be uh, constructed is the Arena District neighborhood, which is also adjacent to the Franklinton neighborhood of Columbus, that will also likely be affected by the new stadium. So the Arena District is a largely business-oriented area with office spaces ranging from financial, legal, real estate, and medical businesses, bars, restaurants, hotels, movie theaters, professional sports arenas, and multiple apartment complexes. The Franklinton neighborhood just west of where the stadium will be built is more residential with fewer busy bars, restaurants, and stores. So both areas will be affected very differently. So the median income in the Arena District is $69,807. That was in 2016. And the median income in the Franklinton neighborhood is less than half of that, with $31,875 a year. The demographics, that's the 90% white in the Arena District, and it's 70% white in the Franklinton neighborhoods. So there are more minorities to be affected in the Franklinton neighborhood than in the Arena District. The median rent is also much higher in the Arena District. It's $1,115 a month, whereas in Franklinton it's $439. So it should be a real consideration that people who are wanting to live closer to the stadium, possibly because they work there or they're just interested in living in a more busy area, would possibly want to live where rents are lower in an area like Franklinton, which could push out residents who are considerably low income. So gentrification should definitely be considered in the mitigation process of this SIA. So for scoping, public notices will be given through multimedia messages targeting neighborhood Facebook groups to the neighborhood most likely to be impacted by the project. These targeted neighborhoods pages would be the Arena District, Franklinton, Short North, and Victoria Village pages because they are the closest ones to the area. It'll also have a press release in the Columbus Dispatch and 614 magazine, and as well as notices posted in Columbus Metropolitan Libraries. So scoping will take place after the notice of availability, and there will be 2 meetings at the Columbus Convention Center a week apart so that those who couldn't get to the first meeting to give comments can get to the second meeting. And then 2 weeks after that, the plan will be open for comments. And then 1 month after that, the comments will be reviewed and considered for the final plan that will be submitted 1 month after that. So the categories to be assessed in this SIA will be historic and archaeological resources, climate change, air quality, noise, public services and facilities, infrastructure and traffic, and cumulative impacts. So for historic and archaeological experts, will be consulted before the groundbreaking of the proposal to determine if there's any negative impacts to building on the proposed land. These experts will also be consulted during construction to monitor the excavation phase of the project. Climate change will be measured by assessing carbon emissions from transportation of materials for building, air pollution measures, and increased vehicular activities. So a team of 4 staff members will train in climate change measurements, will assess the expected environmental impact of carbon emissions and projected impact on the environment of the proposed project 5 and 10 years after completion. So air quality is likely to be impacted with an increase in cars traveling to the stadium on a daily basis for community events, retail, nightlife, and sporting events. So staff members responsible for measuring climate change impacts will also assess air quality measures expected to change during construction and after completion of the project. So noise is expected with large-scale construction, but all construction will take place during working hours regulated by the City of Columbus. The contractor for the project will be required to implement a noise monitoring program and to verify that noise levels are within the range permissible by Columbus noise regulations. So public services and facilities are expected to increase with the new multi-purpose stadium, so sidewalks, bike paths, and bus routes will be created to engage and connect the community with free events provided for the community. Infrastructure and traffic will be impacted during large events and gatherings to take place at the stadium. City planners will build additional cell towers, power lines as part of the city's other programs taking place around the stadium, and a large parking garage will be built by the city to accommodate commuters. Bus lines will also be increased during event times, and bike lanes will be created, as well as canopied bike parking available for bicyclists at the stadium. So ultimately, for the SIA principles, I do believe this SIA will achieve an extensive understanding of local and regional settings to be affected by the construction of the new Crew Stadium, because It will identify key stakeholders and community organizations during the scoping and public involvement process. It will achieve the principle of focusing on key elements of the human environment by considering the community profile of neighboring communities and how to mitigate issues such as connectedness and air quality for susceptible individuals living in the area. And this SIA will identify assumptions and recognizing cumulative impacts and looking at similar SIA that have experienced these cumulative impacts successfully. So, by collecting the socioeconomic and economic data, the SIA will provide decision makers the information to properly assess and create opportunities for the communities and economies possibly impacted by the proposed project. So, environmental justice issues will be fully analyzed and addressed through programs and efforts to increase access for low income residents to partake in activities at the new stadium, as well as provide training and job opportunities for local community members. All of the possible adverse impacts that are anticipated have evaluation and mitigation measures in place during the construction of the project, as well as for years after the stadium is in operation through a collaboration between the stadium owners and the City of Columbus.